I'm Josh Tull.
I'm Brett Roberts.
And I'm Stephen Hebenstriet.
Welcome to Hapticast.
We have a very special guest on the show today, former co-host, Hapticast. We got our boy Stephen Hebenstriet. Stephen, what is going on?
Thank you both for having me. I'm happy to say since I left, well, actually I'm not happy to say it. Since I left, you guys got big and now make money. And I'm here to put a stop to all that, quite frankly. So
You're here to cash in?
Happy to be back for the... we did the most stereotypical meme number for me to come back on, but I'd been wanting to, and you guys are obviously doing good shit, and I'm looking forward to possibly tanking that, but possibly not.
Yeah, we're at 5.
I'm wearing the lucky hat. Real quick.
Oh,
I don't know
speaking
if you
of,
can see the cool hat.
speaking of,
Nice.
we're all wearing merch. So Stephen has the cool hat on. I'm wearing a haptic shirt. I'm wearing a haptic hat. Brett's wearing a haptic hat and a haptic shirt that match. So
That's right. It's all available on hapticintel.com. You can go and check that out and buy some merch.
hapticintel.com/slick.
And I think you were, that's not actually a URL. I think you were getting to the, yeah, I agree. I think you were getting to the point that we are at 571 subscribers.
72.
72.
Yes.
So make
That's
sure you
it.
guys subscribe, suck us off on YouTube, and if you're watching us on Twitch, that's cool too.
No, it's not.
As we discussed before we started, I had Taco Bell right before we started. Steven had chili for dinner and had taco meat for lunch. So we got to poop.
Poor planning on my part, I have to be honest.
We have to shit, but we're here because that's what professionals do. And that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
That is the furthest from what we are.
Right.
So, yeah. So listen, we got off the rails a little bit at the beginning because Streamlabs is bad, YouTube is bad, everything is bad, technical stuff is bad.
Mhm.
But yeah, for those that aren't familiar with Stephen that watch us, mostly on playback, I know. But who is Stephen?
He's our friend that we see like every weekend, but also he used to be on our podcast.
Yes, he has some of the most infamous videos actually of that era, if you will, whatever you want to call it.
He also looks like he's about to hijack a plane right now.
I'm piloting the plane. the plane of haptic intel, and it's
Actually,
about to go right into the fucking ocean.
you actually do look like a pilot with the little mic too.
I
Like
know. I thought about it because I'm like, I debated on the sunglasses, right? Because I'm like, am I gonna look like an asshole for like wearing the sunglasses? And then I'm like, I actually look pretty damn cool, so I'm gonna keep them on.
you're actually trying to hide your identity so nobody knows you're on this goddamn
That I
podcast.
sort of was, but then when you guys were like, we're bringing back the old intro, I'm like, shit, that goes out the window. Saying my whole name. But yeah, the before times, whatever you want to call them, we guys should put like a timeline of like the eras, the various eras up.
We've had several, because this is really not necessarily. I don't think is this the first time as far as we've gotten in the numbering of episodes, because we've rebooted 3 times. This is the furthest we've gotten.
Yeah,
damn, wow. 3 times. That's wild. But yeah, a lot of fun videos we did. Obviously the one with the That's So Raven game.
Yeah, the iconic, dude. Iconic.
Yeah, that's an all-timer.
Funnily, one of our highest viewed videos of that era, by the way.
I want to say though,
Office Dynamite. What can I say?
We didn't reboot when you left, Stephen. We kept the number system going. We just it was just the different.
It was a long hiatus.
Yeah, Stephen didn't leave on bad terms though, like previous people did. So
no, yeah, Stephen didn't say this is the final fuck you, and then left.
You know, I was going to suggest offline that could be a name for the era, but now that it's out in the open, that's a good one.
Yeah, I think that should be the name of that era as well.
But yeah, basically, like you guys, like all the technical stuff, I'm like, my brain's too tiny to like handle that.
Yeah.
And you guys have obviously been on that grind and fucking slaying. So, in all seriousness.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, baby.
Well, listen, you've always got a seat on the casting couch, so
on the bus.
Yeah. Oh.
So why don't we hop into it and do a topic rundown? This week's going to be different. We're doing things a little different, right?
Yeah. And the sense that I really wanted to play that intro, and it really didn't work.
Fine.
I should have known, dude. It's a 2.5-minute animation file. I should have known better.
So here's what you can do, and it's abysmal.
Okay.
Delete this stream, download it, and add that in the beginning, and then re-upload it.
Well, we can do that. We could do that anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. Option. We'll see. No, you're right. You're correct.
I think it really fucked you up.
Well, I put some work into it, and listen, somebody's gonna fucking see that thing. All right.
I saw some of it. It was just at 2 frames per second.
So. No, you didn't see it in its entirety. I'm gonna re-export it as a H.264 file, which all of our other videos are. I'm gonna re-upload it, and then I'm gonna re-upload this whole thing, and I make it nice and clean, so I can give it to Stephen for Christmas. Okay.
Yuki's in the chat. What's up, Yuki?
What's up, Yuki?
Thanks for joining.
All right, yeah. So let's, give me a second here to get back into it. You go ahead. You run the ship for a little bit.
Okay, we're going to do a little differently than usual. So usually we do the Abysmal Chronicles, which is when we talk about some stories that were just a little bit too abysmal to make it as main stories. This week, we're actually just going to do complete Abysmal Chronicles, no main topics. We're just going to go through a big list of topics that we've pulled from the internet, in the gaming news, in the entertainment news, everything that we have.
Which is how we used to run the show, by the way.
Yeah, it's how we used to do it. So we're gonna do that. There's no more intros, no more videos that are gonna play. It's from here on out. We're gonna go through it. And then at the end of the show, we do the Indie Intel segment where we pick an indie game that needs some love. In this case, this game does not need love. It actually has 900% funding on Kickstarter, so I don't think they really need our help, but we're still going to shout them out because the game's pretty cool. And like we always do when we start the show, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about the games we've been playing, the movies that we watched, and the anime and TV shows that we are consuming. That is our media consumption update. And Josh, I think that was enough time for you to get your balls out of your stomach and into your sack. So please, you go first.
I'm going first?
Yeah.
Okay.
You need more time?
No, I'm good. Because the thing is, I tried to I was like, is it like something chugging over here? So I closed my 80,000 Chrome tabs. That didn't work, Anyway, so yeah, I guess I'll go first. I'm not watching any movies. Haven't watched any movies since we streamed last. Been pretty busy and just haven't been in the mood to watch any movies. I'll do TV and anime first, and then games. I finished Ozark. show is so good up until the very ending, and then it falls flat on its face, like every other show that uh, um, exists, pretty much. Basically, they tried to do a Sopranos ending, and it was really bad. So, like literally as soon as it happened, it was like, oh, so we're copying the Sopranos. That's cool. Which is a shame. It was Netflix's best show up until the last episode.
Are they still on Netflix?
Jeez.
Yeah, really, the last 20 minutes of the not even last 5 minutes of the last episode, like it really fell flat on its face. It wasn't like Game of Thrones where like it completely like trailed off. It was fine. It was like they had one more thing to stick the landing, and they fucking ruined it. So,
of course,
pretty bad. Speaking of shows that do not have bad endings, I'm rewatching Breaking Bad for the 13th time, I think.
Why?
Because I want to watch Better Call Saul, the new season Better Call Saul, but it's even been like 2 years since that's been on the air. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I think I really need a full refresher because it's been a while since everything.
So you're going to rewatch all of Better Call Saul next?
Yes. So I'm going to watch all Breaking Bad, and then I'm going to go back in. I'm going to watch all Better Call Saul, and then I'll watch the new season. That is the final season that's airing, and then I will be complete. I'm going to watch El Camino in there too. So I'm just doing the whole thing. I'm doing it correct.
Nice.
I'm coming correct with it. And let me tell you something about Breaking Bad. The show is just as good as I remember it. That show don't miss a beat. That show slaps. That's all I have to say. Kevin agrees with me in the chat. What's up, Kevin?
Fantastic show.
All right. And here's the other thing that I'm doing. Playing Sekiro. Have been playing this for weeks. I have been literally grinding my dick against the grindstone with this game. It has been full of trials and tribulations. This game is very difficult. I cannot believe I am still playing it, but I'm at the final boss in the game. I've been at the very final boss in the game for about a week. I cannot beat the final boss in the game. There is 4 stages to it. I have mastered stage 1 and 2. I can get through stage 3. When I get to stage 4, I have no healing left, and I can't do it. I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. So, it's hard. I fully upgraded my health. I have fully upgraded my attack power, which you do in this game by getting boss souls. It's all done. There's nothing left for me to do than beat the final boss in the game. And it's so cool because it revisits a few things throughout the game that you have had to learn to get to that point. I told you, if you remember not, the Genichiro fight that I did before, where I was like, Genichiro. I talked about it last time. You might not remember.
No, I remember. I just wanted to hear you say the name again.
Genichiro, where it took me forever, but it really taught me how to play the game. Everything and more comes back in this fight. It's maybe the best ending boss to a Souls game, where it's literally like you must implement every skill you have learned, every little abysmal thing throughout the entire game to complete this. And if you cannot do it, then you fail. It's really kicking my ass, but I love it, and I will get there one day. So,
Steven, you gonna play Sekiro any day? No?
I respect the craftsmanship and the love that all the From games have. And I guess one could argue I haven't given enough of them a chance, but I've played some of Dark Souls 2, some of Bloodborne, and I honestly feel like even some of Souls 1, albeit on the 360, which is probably the worst way to play that game.
yeah.
But they just, I don't know. I play video games to like not get pissed off, I guess. And I respect people that do. And there's obviously a dopamine hit you get when you probably win that shit, So
Yeah, dude.
again, I like respect that. I can get the dopamine hit from like, for me, like the challenging games I play will always be like platforming, 2D or 3D. Like if I do like a hard ass level, like that like satisfies me. Like I remember like the game The Messenger I played, like albeit a few months ago at this point, like that was a game that was so fucking difficult, but like I feel like that was like that's my Sekiro. That's my little mountain.
That game is hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were parts where I was like, I'm like debating, like, do I like break this controller and like just order a new one from Amazon like right now?
It does some really cool things though, like when it switches from what, like 8-bit to 16-bit or whatever, or 32-bit.
Yeah, and the concept. It's like time traveling, but
Yeah,
with it, the art style changes, and it's fucking rad.
it's so cool.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Very
Oh
cool.
yeah.
Well,
That's all I have. So
when speaking of great games, what other great games are you playing? What are you watching? What's going on?
Me, so let me. So the last since I've been on, I've played it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not playing it. I'll start with games, I guess. I'm actually like on a kind of game break recently. I'll go into why when I talk about another uh, type of media that I'm consuming. But the last game I beat was Shining Pearl on Switch, the Pokemon remake of Gen 4.
hmm
Uh, it was good. Um, I have a lot of nostalgia for those games because that was when Action Replay got into the scene. For those who may not know, that's like basically can break the game and download like hacks and stuff on the internet onto the Action Replay, and then you throw the cartridge in, and basically like you can get like unlimited Master Balls, fill out all your Pokedex, basically like do whatever you want with the game. Um, and that's fun to do after you like beat it entirely. I don't think like I would never play a game and beat it like that with cheating and all that shit. But yeah, like the game was solid. I enjoyed some of the underground stuff, but I basically am only in it for the battles now in Pokemon. I know recently they try to do all this other stuff about like the contests or the making the stupid little freaking pastry thing. And I'm like, this
Yeah,
is so much better on a stylus. So I was trying to do it with the control stick. I'm like, I want to fucking like throw this in the garbage can. Like this is bad. But I did enjoy it. I have yet to get to like Arceus, but I think that's the next game I kind of want to get to. But
mm.
I've just been chugging through like a backlog I've had, and I found that like in doing so, I'm playing like old games that have come out like 10 years ago. And so by the time I get to like the ones that are out now, it's going to be like 10 years from now. And I just like laugh at that concept that the backlog will never go away.
it's
Um,
true.
that was the last game I played. It's solid. I'm not sure if it's worth the full 60, especially because like I feel like it misses stuff. Like I just wish it was like the platinum one and they remade that, but
Yeah, why did they not just do a remake of Platinum instead?
because they're fucking little money making, grubby little uh, corporation owners. I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, it's
Wait,
fine.
what are they?
It's no. They're little corporation owners. They're annoying.
All right. What else are you playing?
um, I see Brett. You have Halo Infinite as of
Yeah.
literally last night. That was the first time I had played that shit in months.
hmm
I think. And I think that's even a story. That game's just such a mess. But I have to say, when you win, it's the best game ever. But when you lose, it's the
It's the worst.
fucking biggest piece of shit that's ever been created by humankind.
Yeah.
Um, and that was literally how I felt when we beat was you, me, and our friend Sean, friend of the
Mhm.
pod, and it was like the one way CTF thing. And I mean,
Yeah.
you can
One
get into
flag.
it later. Yeah, because they dropped the season 2, which is like the new battle pass. I didn't buy it yet. I kind of want to just finish season 1 first, but I'm kind of far away from that, so I have no idea if I have the discipline to do that. We'll see.
I wonder if you
But
buy both. If you buy two while you have one active, if you can complete both at the same time.
I should try that because I don't know if that's the case. That's a good
Yeah.
question. I feel like no, because you have to switch between the two, I
You?
thought. So like you only level up one, but I might have to do that and see. It's not super expensive, thankfully. That's like the one saving grace. But
Yeah.
yeah, still have not played the campaign of that, and we'll wait until co-op comes out.
All right. Well, I'll see you in 2025, dude.
Yeah,
No, dude, August's coming, dude.
allegedly. August of not this year, probably. Um I'm gonna pivot to movies now. So a lot of the ones you guys have talked about, Everything Everywhere All at Once,
Mm.
fantastic film. I now have to take this time to apologize not only to Josh Toll but all of America. And I have to do this because I saw The Northman and I fucked up not knowing Josh's schedule. He's a busy man. I thought there was a Sunday that he was not around. Turns out he was, and I said in the group chat, I was like, man, guys, Sean and I saw The Northman. This movie is fucking awesome. And listen, I just want to say to the people out there, ignore discourse about most shit in general on the internet, but ignore the discourse about this movie. I don't even want to get into it, but some of the like borderline like accusations they've made about the director and stuff, it's totally unfounded. The movie is awesome.
Wait,
There's just a lot of
I don't mean to. I don't want to derail us, but I don't.
no, go
I
ahead.
don't. I don't even know what you're talking. What's going on about it?
All right, I'll do it at a high level. We're grown-ups here, so we can talk about it. Basically, there are see, this was the soundboard was not a major part of the old era, if you can tell. Now that it's the new era, and we're throwing things for a loop.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
See, again, like I said in the pre-screen, this is going to be the best and worst episode of all time simultaneously. But no, basically, like, there's like alt-right shitheads on the internet that like love this movie because they love Viking culture and like the plunder and shit that these, you know, let's be honest, primarily like white Scandinavian people would do to others. And the movie does not pull punches about that. It also doesn't like glorify it either, which is what people get that wrong about like Scorsese movies. How like, oh, he endorses every bad thing the mob does. No, actually, like if you like actually like pay attention to the subtext, actually, it's not even really subtextual with Scorsese. It's like it's pretty obvious if you like actually are watching the movie. But I feel like most of the people shitting on it like haven't watched the movie actually.
Yeah.
So it's a fantastic film. Again, I'm sorry that I can't read basic dates on a calendar.
It's good, brother.
But I do recommend it to everyone. It's right up there with everything as my favorite movie of the year. It might, I don't know if it edges out a little, and it's because it's like, so it's Robert Eggers, and I don't want to take too long in this, so I'm going to try to be quick. The Witch, The Lighthouse. I almost forgot the name of it. But it's like supposed to be like more mainstream kind of because it's not A24, but it has the right amount of Eggers weirdness that we all know and love and what we love him for.
Mm-hmm.
And someone, Will Menaker, Chapo Trap House, which is another podcast, he has a letterbox and he described it really well. Robert does like, he describes past eras of primarily American history, but for the Northmen, that's not really the case. But like past eras, like describing them as like science fiction, like the people's viewpoints back then, like you cannot imagine them like today. You cannot put yourself in those shoes and like have the same like viewpoints and perception of the world as they do. And he does a great job at that. And everyone's great in it. Anya Taylor-Joy, Willem Dafoe is a perfectly weirdo, the perfect weirdo in like any movie, and that's the case in this. Absolutely recommend if you can see it, especially on a big screen. And there's a lot of like blood and violence and screaming, and it's nice. And I'll be real quick with the other one is The Godfather. I've watched for the first time. I'll just say they don't make them like they used to. That's like a lot of extras in the background. Everyone is doing something. It's just not really something you see in movies anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound like an old boomer when I talk about it, but it was the first time I had seen it. It was in a beautiful 4K scan. Just, I got to do the Italian stuff. I recommend it wholeheartedly. James Caan. They don't make men like James Caan's shoulders. Like he's not on the Marvel diet, but like he looks like a refrigerator. Like like the shoulders are so square. James Caan is one of my favorite actors ever.
You ever see a girl that's built like a mini fridge?
What?
No.
No.
There are none in The Godfather. All the men are mini fridges.
They don't make men anymore.
Little manlets.
Yeah, I'm sounding like someone made a nice edit in the Google Doc. Okay. TV, real quick. Station 11.
What is that?
An HBO miniseries. So it's an HBO miniseries. It is post-apocalyptic, and you're thinking another post-apocalyptic like derivative miniseries, but it's not. It's solid. It's basically like, what if COVID happened, but it was so deadly it killed almost everyone, and society collapsed, but the only ones that survived were thespians. That is what Station 11 is. It's a-
what?
It's a traveling group that perform like Shakespeare and stuff to try to keep that, you know, almost keep his memory alive and stuff. They're not all Shakespeare centric, but they travel around and perform. And there's there's a prophet dude that it's based like there's a graphic novel in the show called Station 11 that like supposedly like predicts the way this is all played out. It's very interesting. It bounces back and forth between timelines a little bit. I'm not done it yet. I'm taking it slowly, but it's good. It's like 10 episodes. It's on HBO Max.
Sounds like something I would like.
It is solid. It's like, to me, it's like an Amazon Prime tier show. Like, it's not like the best of the best from HBO, but like, if you remember, Josh, and you'll fondly remember this, Sneaky Pete.
Oh,
You remember that show?
Sneaky fucking Skeet. Sneaky,
They
did Pete dirty, dude. Should have
They
freaking dude. Come on, yeah.
Jeff Bezos is going to hell because he canceled Sneaky Pete.
Yeah, that show slaps.
But like, I think it's around that tier. It's like a solid like 7.5 to 8 if I were to put it on the 10 scale.
Yeah.
Not really many notable actors. I mean, Mackenzie David from
yeah.
She was in the latest Terminator movie. It's like
Yeah.
the last big thing I think she was in movie wise.
Yeah. I see what's his name? Himesh Patel is in it too.
Yeah.
I
wasn't
him.
sure he's from like the time when they call it a flu. It's like it's a little very on the nose with the whole COVID bullshit. And he's in that time period.
I like it.
And David Cross is in it, which I thought was kind of random.
I like David Cross.
Yeah.
David Cross is in one of the movies I watched.
Well. All right. Real quick. I had 2 other shows. I'm not even going to talk about Joe Pera. I just have to say, if you have the chance to watch Joe Pera Talks with You, it's like the most unique show I've probably ever seen in my life. It's like slightly adult humor, but it's Mr. Rogers. And for those watching, it's outstanding. It's like they're 10-minute episodes. No, Joe Pera does not do that. And the last thing I want to quickly say it. The NBA playoffs. That's my TV I've been watching. I'm in Hooper mode. But we are down bad right now. My 76ers, who I ride and die with, Joel Embiid, is just a snake-bitten person who has like, and I don't mean this as an insult, but he has like glass bones and paper skin. Like he's just a person who was like, when he was like born, is more prone to injuries. He got hit in the face with a shoulder. I thought it was a borderline dirty play, and the nation of Canada will suffer because they've given him a concussion and broke his face after he already was dealing with a thumb strain. But it looks like they're going to be down for the count. But I watch the playoffs in general. I enjoy the NBA, the drama, the amount of players that are spread across teams. Like there's a pretty good balance, and I actually think it's a good product, except for the occasional like foul grifting and ref show nonsense. But yeah, that's all I have for the media content. And you guys are lucky I skipped out on every game I played since I was last on. We could have 3 whole episodes based on me talking about all that stuff.
That would be good content, I think.
Yeah.
Just me alone in a room.
yeah.
Paper. This game was Owlboy. I really liked Owlboy, and just.
All right, I'm gonna go really quick. We have a lot to talk about still. All right, movies that I've watched. I recently watched Scary Movie 1 and Scary Movie 2. David Cross is in Scary Movie 2. Both of those films are fantastic. They're hilarious. They're so bad, but they're so funny. And I wish I watched them with both of you because I feel like we would have laughed at just dumb, stupid bullshit. I actually went and downloaded all of the Wayans Brothers movies because they're the ones behind the first couple scary movies. So I got 50 Shades of Black.
White Chicks.
There's a Haunted House movie. Haunted House 2. It's like scary. It's like a scary movie, but it's more like Paranormal Activity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I downloaded a whole bunch of them. Oh, Little Man, where he plays a little person. So I'm hoping that. I'm hoping we can watch some of these. Yeah. I'm hoping we can watch some of those together. Games. I played Apex Legends with Josh and Christian for the first time in about 20,000 years. Apex is Apex. And Halo Infinite, Steven already talked about it. It's the best game in the world when you win, the worst game in the world when you lose. And Season 2 is abysmal, and the new game mode is abysmal. And we're going to talk about Halo Infinite a little bit later. There's a news story.
I can't wait for that topic.
Yeah, they basically 343 Industries insulted their fans in the game on accident. I'll get to that. TV and anime, one show, Moon Knight, finished it last night. You want to see my opinion on Moon Knight? You're not going to get it here. Go to my Letterboxd profile. It's in my link tree down below in the description of our YouTube video. So check that out.
Hell yeah, brother.
All right. Well, we got a lot to talk about. Let's start the Abysmal Chronicles. Let's get a little...
Classic.
Yeah, this is an upgrade to the new era that I approve of.
Yeah, the music.
Yeah.
So the Abysmal Chronicles, like I said before, it's usually the segment where we talk about things that are just too abysmal to make it on a main topic, part of the show. This is the show. So everything we talk about is all going to be the Abysmal Chronicles.
Mm-hmm. And we're staying right here. We can't wheel Steven anywhere else in the HQ. So
yeah, he's stuck here. So we're stuck here.
I only have the visitors pass. I don't have the admin. I can't badge into the theater room.
Well, HBot doesn't have you on the retina scanner. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the glasses.
Yep. Video game releases. We always do that. So let's start with that. Overcooked All You Can Eat is coming to Google Stadia on May 5th, which is today. Trek to Yomi, which is that side-scrolling Ghost of Tsushima game.
Yeah.
PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, and PC today.
I've heard it's really hard in a good way.
I haven't heard anything about it at all.
Yeah, and it's also on Game Pass.
Ooh,
that's good.
Among Us Ejected Edition is coming out for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One,
Among Us,
Switch.
What edition though?
Ejected.
Eject it. Get it out.
Yeah.
That's coming out tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Euden Chronicle Rising is coming out for Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC on May 10th.
That sounds made up.
I'm really excited for the next one. Salt and Sacrifice is finally coming out on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and PC on May 10th. And This War of Mine Final Cut is coming out for PS5 and Xbox Series X and S May 10th as well. This is a game that very relevant today with the stuff that's going on in Ukraine.
This little war of mine.
Check that out.
Can suck my ass.
And then, Josh, you and our buddy Sean might be excited for this one.
I am.
Evil Dead the game is coming out on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC May 13th.
Next week. I'm excited for it. It's the only game I really cared about for the rest of the year, to be honest with you. So, because nothing else has been announced. God of War ain't coming out this year. We've been over that.
Talk about that later.
You actually missed it. It came out April.
Yeah, it came out.
It's coming out April or May?
Or May.
April or May? Yeah,
May
dude.
5th.
Good one, brother.
It's May 5th.
Good one, dude.
Also, I said that like in the summer of last year.
No, you didn't. You literally said it on the freaking topic at the beginning of this year. Check the tape.
Anyway,
right?
Let's hop into some stories here. So we have a bunch of stories. They're all fun. They're all good. They're all dandy. We're just going to go back and forth. And then, Steven, I don't know if you know how we do things anymore, but I'm going to read a news story, and then you're just going to talk about that news story, react to it. Okay?
And if you have nothing to say, then that's fine, too.
So last week, we broke some news. AEW's new video game is being titled Fight Forever. Guess what? More information has come out. If you're an AEW wrestling fan, All Elite Wrestling, you're going to be interested in this. So first off, AEW Fight Forever gets 2 more wrestlers and PC confirmed. This is coming from Game Informer. The roster for All Elite Wrestling's upcoming console game, AEW Fight Forever, got 2 more additions today. The All Elite Arcade stream, which was yesterday, hosted by AEW stars Evil Uno and Adam Cole, revealed models and gameplay for Chris Statlander and former women's champion Nyla Rose. It was also confirmed that referee Aubrey Edwards, along other officials, will be present in the game. Fun fact, Aubrey Edwards is a game designer and actually worked on Scribblenauts and was one of the designers on the first Scribblenauts game.
Fun fact, she's slick.
And she is very slick. So while a PC version of the game was confirmed during that stream, reports from one day earlier indicated a few more things that aren't confirmed. But that includes the game will launch with only 50 characters, but those will include Owen Hart, who is deceased, Sting, CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, and Ruby Soho. DLC to bring more characters in the game. Obviously, there's like 150 people signed to AEW, so they're like 100 characters short. They're considering DLC to bring all those other characters in eventually. No publisher has been confirmed yet, but THQ Nordic are said to be involved with the game, but their involvement has been very minimal so far. And the game will be a one and done type of thing, which means it's not going to be like WWE 2K where they make a new one every single year, which has developer Ukes very upset. And I'm using that to segue into the next topic, which is AEW and Ukes butting heads over the AEW video game. This one's coming from Sports Gamers Online. So I'll let you guys, we'll react to this whole story here. SGO has learned that there have been a lot of discourse between the teams for AEW games and Ukes. Though that's not unheard of for video game development, especially for a brand new title with a new partnership, this discourse has been far from positive. Sources have indicated that the relationship with Ukes and AEW, specifically Kenny Omega, who is a wrestler, isn't in the best place at the moment. According to those close to the game's development, Omega has found himself frustrated and hating working with Ukes. One person even claimed that it has come across at times like Ukes was trying to take advantage of an inexperienced Omega in this position. There have been multiple instances of arguments over the game's direction, as well as constraints on development. AEW has invested significant money into development, but the game is apparently way over budget at this point and even required extra investment. The budget issues have led to a number of features of the game either being less than originally planned or cut altogether. So I know you guys aren't really the biggest wrestling fans, but are you familiar with Ukes?
Pukes? No.
Not familiar with Ukes,
No.
Stephen?
I can't say I've heard of him.
Ukes was a game developer from back in the day. They did like a lot of the old WWE games, and I'm pretty sure they did a lot of like third-party. Pretty sure they did like third-party games as well. They did an Earth Defense Force game, several actually. They did Pacific Rim, the video game, which was ass. They did The Dog Happy Life, whatever the fuck that is. And they also did Berserk, a PS2 game called Berserk Millennium Falcon.
I was gonna say, is that like the anime Berserk? And then you said Millennium Falcon, and I was
No,
like,
it is. It is. Yeah, I know.
Why is it? What?
Yeah, so basically, Ukes is upset that AEW doesn't want to do a yearly thing, but AEW doesn't have the money right now to invest in that, a yearly thing. And also, they're trying to do something different. They don't want to be like WWE, where they're making fans buy the same game basically every year, just with roster updates. So that makes sense, but it doesn't sound very good at all.
The state of wrestling games is bad, always.
I would agree with that. And a lot of people aren't happy with the videos they showed off either. What was that, Stephen?
Yeah, the state of most sports games seems generally like shit.
Well,
that's for sure.
Most of them are generally shit.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got for you. You want to take the next one, Josh?
Yeah, let's move on to greener pastures here. So, a former Rockstar Games illustrator has created video game comic book covers, and they look slick. So, comic book covers are often just as exciting as the art story within the actual book. In the case of former Rockstar Games illustrator Mark
Slickuna,
though, the covers might come out on top. That's because Slickuna has created a wonderful digital collection of covers for what would be video game comic books, and they look absolutely amazing, ranging from Crash Bandicoot, which includes kart racing spin-off Crash Team Racing, to Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Resident Evil, and more. These covers are so good, we wish the comics were real. You can purchase these art pieces on Mark's Redbubble page.
So if you guys haven't looked through this, look through them. They're very fucking slick. They have lots of different games, lots of different genres here.
Yeah.
And I want to buy all of them.
The God of War one is very good.
Yeah, and there's some Resident Evil ones that are really
Horizon
cool
one is good. Medieval. Yeah, Resident Evil. There it is. That's slick. Resident Evil 3. Resident Evil 4. Very nice. Resident Evil 8.
He really likes Crash Bandicoot, as you can see from like the ones under that.
Oh, he did a Last of Us one. Last of Us Part 2. Ooh, spoilers.
So yeah, this is something I found online, and I thought it was really cool. I just wanted to share. You can purchase the art pieces. You can put them on T-shirts, posters, whatever.
I like it.
Yeah.
Anything
All
else
right.
to say about that?
Steven, you got anything to say about these slick pieces of art?
Art is good. Art is important. Let us thank it for his food. Amen.
All right. Another big news story for you. This one's about Final Fantasy 16. So if you're a big fan of Final Fantasy, listen close, listen up, and listen carefully. Final Fantasy 16 producer Naoki Yoshida says the game is near the end of development. This comes from Game Informer.
Hell yeah, Kevin. Just want to say that. We're actually going to talk. We're going to talk about Bioshock in a little bit. He said that if there's a Bioshock one, he's buying it. We're going to talk about Bioshock shortly.
Yeah, there's a nice Bioshock story here. So this one's coming from Game Informer. So, okay, it's a quote. Quote, Yoshida says, development of the latest title, Final Fantasy 16, is in its final stages. Yoshida said this in a free magazine currently being given away at Uniqlo stores in Japan. Final Fantasy 16 aims to integrate the story.
How'd you just pronounce that?
Uniqlo? Is that not right?
Continue.
What is it?
I don't know.
What is wrong with me saying Uniqlo?
Pretty sure it's just Uniqlo.
Uniqlo.
Okay.
What if I called it? That better?
Yes, much.
Final Fantasy 16 aims to integrate the story and the gaming experience into a single-player game. Unlike online, which portrays multiple players simultaneously, Final Fantasy 16 focuses on the individual. Yeah?
What?
This makes the story more immersive. It's a very dense
What are you
story.
saying yeah to?
She literally just described a single-player game.
Oh.
Maybe it was in the context of like FF14, that's the MMO, which a lot of people love, by the way. I think they just released the last like expansion for that.
Yeah, people do love it.
But it was like dead in the water. Then they like revamped it, and everyone loved it. And I think people still love it.
I think they do.
I love it.
It's a dense story. As an adult, I learned about society and said to myself, reality is not as easy as a video game. I hope that those who once left Final Fantasy will remember how exciting their passion for video games was back then.
Is this has mistranslation written all over it?
Well,
this sounds like a bad translation.
The game's near end of development, Josh. That's all we need to know. But also, I put in here, VGC also claimed that Yoshida said in October of last year that Square Enix was nearing the final stages of development. And during a Tokyo Game Show live stream earlier that year, it's a he. I thought it was a she. He said that Final Fantasy XVI's development team was working on finalizing the final side quests for the game.
I thought Yoshida was a female. I thought this was the first Final Fantasy game directed by a woman.
I thought so too. Maybe it is a she. Maybe they're wrong.
Somebody's going to need to check us on that.
So basically, this human being, whether they are female, male, or other, they are saying that the game is coming and it's almost done. So
well, good. It's coming out this year. So
yeah,
we're going to get it before God of War.
I was just going to ask, is it coming out before God of War?
Somehow we're going to get a Final Fantasy game out before God of War. That also probably started development after God of War.
I mean, real quick, this is just so different from 15 that was delayed like 10 years.
Yeah.
And like they're going to actually like put a game out on time. It's just, I don't buy it.
Yeah. We have confirmation in the chat, by the way, from Yuki that Yoshida is in fact a dude.
A dude? Okay. Yeah. I thought it was a girl.
Yeah, I thought it was a woman too. Maybe I'm thinking of the composer for Final Fantasy.
I think you are.
For 7 remake. Or maybe the composer for 16. There was a first female doing something, which I know was like big for like Japan. So
Naoki Yoshida.
Naoki Yoshida.
Yeah. Josh, I think I should take the next one because it's long and I'm not gonna say all of it, and it's abysmal.
Do we even have to talk about this, dude?
Yeah, dude, because it's funny.
This game fucking sucks, bro.
All right, so Balan Wonderworld director Yuji Naka has filed a lawsuit against Square Enix, and he reveals that he was removed before the game released. This is coming from Game Informer. Balan Wonderworld was a disappointing game for most, especially for a game from Yuji Naka, the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, Naka has taken to Twitter to reveal not only was he removed as the director of Balan Wonderworld, but about half a year before its release in March of 2021, actually, but that he also filed a lawsuit against the game's publisher, Square Enix, for doing so. He now says that proceedings are over and he's no longer bound by company rules, and he's speaking out about what has happened to him. This was all translated by the Twitter user Cheesemeister3K.
I actually think I know that Twitter user. Not like in real life, but I've seen them before.
He's a friend of the show.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Their Abby was like Howard Dean, that one governor that in like 04 screamed like, "Yeah!" And then David Chappelle made fun of him. But he was just wearing a big cheese head on his head.
Speaking of Dave Chappelle, rest in peace. He's like dead or something now.
No, he's not. They beat up a dude backstage because he tackled him.
Yeah, same thing, dude.
Yeah, his security detail. His arm is now bent the other way.
Yeah, it was.
Not supposed to. It's bending away. It shouldn't have bent.
Yeah, same difference. Yeah.
So I took a lot of stuff out. This is like a long ass quote from him. I even cut it down, and it's still long. So some of it isn't like directly. Like he didn't say some of it right after each other, but you'll get the point. He said, "I think it's wrong with Square Enix not to value games and game fans. According to court documents, I was removed as the director of Balan Wonderworld for 2 reasons. It was done by the producer, the head of marketing, the head of sound, the managing director, and HR. Literally everyone just said, get the fuck out, dude. First, when a YouTuber's arranged piano performance of the game's music was released in a promotion instead of the original game track, turning the composer into a ghostwriter, I insisted that the original track be released, and this caused trouble." Basically, they used some YouTuber's version of a song.
So basically, this dude was like, yo, give this guy credit. Yeah. And they were like, nah, yeah, we don't do that in corporate Japan.
Yeah. Naka continues, stating that in releasing an original game, it was wrong to put out an arranged track with promotional materials. He felt that the game music everyone could hum to were the original tracks, not arranged pieces made by someone other than the composer. He said, "I believe that every effort must be put in to make games the best they can be until the very end so that game fans will enjoy what they buy. It wasn't right to, without discussion, remove and completely disassociate from the project a director saying so." How do you feel about that? Do you guys agree with that? Someone has to speak.
I mean, it seems like he got shafted, but also the game is like
bad,
remarkably terrible.
Well, I think his point is that he didn't even get to finish it.
Yeah, but he makes it sound like he was released at the end of it, and you would think at that point most principal development would have been done, right? And listen, that game isn't bad because it didn't have somebody across the finish line. That game is deeply flawed at all levels.
That game's not bad because they use someone on YouTube's music instead of...
Yeah, that game is bad because it's bad.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be saved by him sticking around. And also, like in the notes, the last bullet point you have.
Yeah, hold on. So here's his statement. He apologizes. He said, "Myself, I'm truly sorry to the customers who bought Balan Wonderworld in an unfinished state. I believe that when making games, asking for fixes in order to make something good should be a given. And if that's not possible, it should be talked over, but it looks like they can't. I don't think they value games." Naka points to Sonic the Hedgehog 2 as an example. He says that 2 weeks before finalizing the game, it was changed so that as long as you have at least 1 ring, you won't die. This wouldn't have happened if he weren't allowed to improve the game to the very end, Naka says. Improving a game until the very end is what being a game creator is all about. And if that's not possible, something's wrong. I think that the resulting Balan Wonderworld and the critical reception it received have a lot to do with what happened. I'm really disappointed that a project I worked on from the start turned out this way. His final statement: "I personally regret that Balan Wonderworld was released to the world in an unfinished state. I want to consider all kinds of things and release it as a proper action game. I don't think that Square Enix and RZest values games and their fans." And I just put here as the final bullet, as Steven mentioned, the game has a 36 on Metacritic.
Hell yeah, dude.
What a bookend. But no, like, wait. Now he's saying it's unfinished because he wasn't part of it? He's like, oh, shitty, it's not my fault.
Yeah, I think so. There's two ways you can look at it. There's one where you're like, his name was attached to this game for a time. It came out and it was shit. So now he's doing everything he can to kind of like say like, oh, I didn't have anything to do with it. Exactly. Or he's literally saying like, dude, I was fired. They didn't finish the game, and like you got what was there when I left. So I don't know what to believe. I don't know what's right, but that game is shit.
Yeah,
probably is.
The donkey video was like, I felt like I was staring into like the Stargate at the end of 2001, just like seeing like past, present, and future at the same time.
It looks bad.
Yeah, it looked genuinely terrible. Bad 3D platformers like more than any other game other than like a shitty sports game, like highest embarrassment potential. If you're just looking at this and you're like, what the fuck?
It reminded me of like Nights into Dreams almost. Like it looked like that kinda, and then it came out and it was just like really weird dancing.
He create Nights? I thought this guy created that game.
He might have. Yeah, it's a Sega game. It's possible. So, Josh, you're silent. Are you okay?
Yeah, yo, I want to shout out PC Gamer real quick for having the slowest load fucking speed on the entire internet.
Shout out.
That's it. So. Oh. That's it. That's all I had to say.
Okay.
Are we moving on?
Yeah, we're moving on. You're next.
I'm up. Are you sure you want me to be up for this topic?
I thought you wanted to do this one, or do you want to do the next one?
I want to do. No, I can do this one too if you want, but
this I think we can have a nice discussion about this one altogether.
All right. So here's what's going on. You read it. I don't want to do it.
All right. So basically, guys, Halo Infinite Season 2 launched.
And it's bad. And the game sucks, and 343 is bad, and they should have had the game taken away from them. What is Phil doing? Why is Bonnie Ross still in charge of anything? She can't even wipe her own ass. All that.
It's bad. And the game updated, and certain players were kind of confused when a line of test code was left in the game. So basically, 343 left in a line of dummy code in the update that replaces the Season 1 title, Heroes of Reach, with the text, Moochers of Reach. The joke is insinuating that 343 believes the Halo Infinite players that are asking for content are moochers. I think this is despicable.
So here's what's happening, right? Let me break it down for you real quick. Okay. They release an unfinished product before it's ready. Early.
It was in beta, dude.
Early. It doesn't matter. They released it early. It's unfinished. Missing everything that makes Halo good except for the core gameplay loop, right?
Yeah, it felt good.
Yeah, so no Forge, no co-op, lackluster monetization. This is a live service they launched, right? But you might say, oh, but it's a free-to-play game, blah, 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 blah. No. They have fumbled the franchise for years. This is just another misstep in it, right? Then they get pissed off when the people that are playing, interacting with their live service product, right, are getting dismal updates. The game doesn't work in certain areas. Big Team Battle didn't work for months, and yet they're saying, oh, our team's going to take a break and do this, this, and this. Oh, by the way, we're going to have another season. It's going to last another 12 years, right? So you'll finish the Battle Pass.
Months.
You'll finish the Battle Pass in 4 days, and then, we'll see you next year. At this point.
You were kidding when you said 12 years, but like it is 6 months, and that is a very
ridiculous.
Long time.
It's ridiculous for a live service game. You now have a live service game that's going to be out for 2 years, and you've done major updates to it twice? No. Get out. You're bad. So, they're taking flack from the community for all of these things. They probably got pissed off internally, so they add this nice little Easter egg. Oops, you left it in the game. Guess what? Joke's on you. Your game's bad and you suck. You should all be fired, and this game should not exist, and Xbox should shut down 343. I still don't understand why they have why are they involved with Halo? They shit the bed 3 times now.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because the core game is good. That's what's almost the worst part about it.
The worst part is, in my opinion, the only people that would see this are the people that are still playing their game.
Right,
So
which
it's
was what, like 10?
So they're just insulting the people that are actually still playing their shitty
insulting
game.
the diehards.
Yeah.
So this has a little whiny bitch baby written all over it.
And are people really? Do they really think that the people asking for content are moochers? Is that fair to ask for content?
I don't think so. What? Name another live service game that didn't have an update for 6 months. It hasn't happened before because it's a live service game.
They shouldn't have launched.
You want to keep people involved with it? You gotta update your fucking live game with content and fix it. And they didn't. And therefore, you had 10 people on Steam playing your game.
Dude, it's okay. Forge is coming out finally in August in beta.
No, it's not. No, it's not, dude.
It is.
It's not. Beta. It's not happening. Co-op is not happening. Both of those should have been out by now, which was what they said. And it's not.
Steven, do you have anything to say? Because I want to kind of pivot to a different topic here on Halo.
I mean, to Josh's point, like the fact they still have the franchise, like you would think after Master Chief Collection, like because we didn't like the debacle that was, and they finally got like, I feel like with games like you can get it. Almost anyone can get it right, but it takes a long time. Like No Man's Sky is another example where like it was launched and it was a total joke, and like it took some time, and like sometimes you need the time, and it's hard to draw the line where like it's 343's fault and like the developer, like for lack of a better word, like grunt work fault, and like this development culture in general for like big budget games is just not sustainable. But like the live service pivot, and like I mean they still charge $60. Like you had to pay $60 if you wanted to buy it physically.
Or if you didn't have Game Pass.
Yeah. I didn't, so I definitely like wouldn't pay for it. And yeah, like you guys said, like after a while, like you can beat the battle pass pretty easily, and then there's just nothing to do. And it's I don't know, it's kind of like baffling. I don't really understand like what they're doing. If I don't know if it's working for them, like behind the scenes they have like, well, this many people are playing it as this X percent of attachment rate, so we can keep going with this like status quo. But I mean, you're not going to get like the next big hit doing that way. Like if you're okay with that smaller audience, then, and maybe some people, you have little spikes when your battle passes come out, your new season rolls out, then okay. But
they had, so I mean, I think it comes down to leadership and a lack of it at that studio, a lack of balls by Xbox actually to be like, you're done. And then also like I just completely lost my train of thought. That was wild. Every thought. Wait, no, it's important. Hang on. You had the attention of the entire world for weeks. Your game was number one, right? You were super popular. That was the time to cash out, literally, and get people in forever. I mean, I'm still playing fucking Apex Legends 4 years after it's come out.
It's that first impression.
Like squandered the opportunity.
They fumbled it. They fumbled it without any support. And that was the moment to keep people's attention, and they missed it. And what's really telling is that aside from, I'm not talking about the public numbers on Steam, which before the Battle Pass was like in the thousands, like very low. They talked all about their console numbers at launch. Crickets since then, because nobody was playing. Nobody was playing. That's very telling. So, they're bad.
A few weeks ago, it actually, some people were tweeting that, I think it was Chris Raygun from Last Stand Media. He was saying that Halo Infinite spent a lot of its time actually in the weird development phase where they were trying different game types instead of the traditional Halo. Yeah. And at one point, it was actually going to be an Overwatch clone.
Yeah.
And that was like what Halo Infinite was for a long time. And 2 years before the game actually came out, they finally decided, no, we can't, like it's not working. Overwatch is not even popular anymore, really. And then they shifted over to the traditional Halo. So really, if that's true, that's 2 years of development time.
I need to say something now, because I didn't even know that. Why couldn't you just do what Bungie did? Like, why are you trying to like shoehorn shit that's not Halo into Halo? You did it with Halo 5 and it was a fucking disaster. Objectively, that game is not fun.
It's bad.
I mean the like the campaign system with the healing and I mean literally I thought I was playing like an entirely different franchise. And like you had Halo 1 through 3. As good a trilogy of a video game trilogy as I've ever played. And then you're trying to make it like over like why?
Not only that, but there's also the Battle Royale rumors as well. Remember when the game first was announced, people were saying it was going to have a Battle Royale. Mm-hmm. Maybe that was one of the test modes as well, you know.
But
now I was going to say the new game mode actually is that they just added is like a Battle Royale.
Really?
Yeah.
And I'm okay with them like messing with that, but it gets down to is like the talent is just not as good as it was. Right? Like the story, like for me, like I play games for like the story. I don't really do much multiplayer other than with you fellas.
Mm-hmm.
But like the Halo story, like for as ridiculous as it was compelling. It built atmosphere. The music was outstanding. The graphics are, taken
at the time.
But,
when
they weren't bad, and it was innovative for the time, and it just lost its spark. And I think it's not a coincidence it coincided with Bungie leaving.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like Bungie moved, and in my opinion, they took a step down also from what they had done.
Yeah.
It's like you had the perfect thing going, and I guess people want to do something different, after a while. You don't want to keep doing the same shit.
Yeah.
For like your entire lifespan. But
to be fair, Destiny is very close to Halo. So were they really doing anything different? Not really.
Different. I mean, they just completely basically leaned into the multiplayer aspect of it.
They just walked away from a good thing they had going.
Yeah. While they were ahead.
Get it.
But yeah, so Chris Ray Gun has a source within Bungie that was like for most of its life cycle, it was in development cycle. It was, or not within Bungie, within 343, that it was not that, and I think that's evident, right? So all those directors changes, that game was in such a bad state, obviously, for a long time. Staten came in, who has experience with it, and made it what it is, and it was a good call to put it back to its roots, because that's all it ever needed to be. That's what anybody has ever wanted Halo to be since 4, before 4 came out. Continue the story. It's interesting. It's not complicated. You don't have to make it complicated.
Do more of the same.
And continue the arena shooter. That's all you had to do. And you fucked it up several times. And you almost really fucked it up again. And then when you didn't fuck it up and you had it right, you fucked it up by not supporting it. If 343 makes another Halo game, I think Phil Spencer should not have a job. Because it stops somewhere, dude. And he's the head of it. You gotta... Bonnie Ross, that studio, they have to be gone. They have to be gone. They're done. They're done. If I was Phil Spencer, they would have been done before 4 came out. I put my eyes on it, I'd be like, nope, bye. This is our most important franchise, and you fucked it up.
That's the most baffling part. It's literally their most important franchise. Halo is so important to the Xbox.
And they don't treat it that way.
They don't. They really don't.
Well, honestly, now that they bought Minecraft, that's the most important franchise, if we're being honest.
At least a moneymaker.
Yeah,
but as far as like, I mean, Master Chief's helmet is on the fucking chips in your console.
Yeah. It's their biggest original, their biggest original hit.
The days of Halo and Gears are done.
Yeah. And I agree, Josh, friend of the pod, Phil Spencer, like, the buck's got to stop somewhere. It's disappointing. Like, I don't know if, they're in the green when they look at quarterly fiscal reports and they're like, okay.
Probably, which is a shame. Yeah.
He's too nice, dude.
And all you have to do, and then we can move on. I know we've been on this for a while. All you have to do, I'll go back to it. I'll go back to that 1,000 times. Listen to the interview of Bonnie Ross with Ryan McCaffrey. Listen to her speak about Halo and video games. She doesn't know what the hell is going on. That's it.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about Xbox again.
I'm going to die.
They're good now. They did something good, or did they do something good? Go ahead, Josh.
All right, so...
Wait, before you do that, I think we should do an ad read.
Okay, go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, Haptic Intel and Hapticast are sponsored by Dubby. I have the new Shaker Cup 2.0 here. Josh, what do you got?
Sorry, hang on. I just put the ad over. You're saying I I have the original cup, and I'm drinking. What am I drinking today? Galaxy Grenade.
Steven, what do you got?
I got the brand new, unreleased, one of one Crystal Dubby.
There you go. So Dubby. So we're sponsored by Dubby. If you didn't know, we're going to shout them out right now. They don't require us to do this. We do it just because we're sponsored by them, and we think they're cool, and their products are good. So Dubby was formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crashes. The formula contains vitamins, amino acids, and nootropics, including the patented Neurofactor, which I know Josh and I like to get slizzard off that Neurofactor. There's no calories, no sugar, no artificial colors, no fillers, none of the bad stuff, only the good stuff. If you find it hard to work or study, use code SLICK, SLICK, to save on Dubby. You'll save 10% today on your Dubby.gg order if you use the code SLICK at checkout. And all the money that you save goes to us so we can continue to fund this show and other projects on our channel. So we really appreciate it.
Yeah. Mainly unclaimed baggage, because that costs us a lot of money. So
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this time to say, again, we are at 572 subscribers on YouTube. So be one of those 572. Help us get to 1,000 so we can get partnered on YouTube.
I think it's 572. Pretty sure it is. It was when I looked earlier today, although we could have we could have easily lost somebody. It's 571 now, so we lost somebody.
Okay.
So fuck that person. Oh.
They watched the intro and how it was
24
frames per second.
All right. It should be 24 frames per second.
They saw how it was 5 frames per second. All right. And all right, back to the news. Josh, take it away. What has Xbox done?
Nothing. Xbox. Hang on. Xbox has helped Epic circumnavigate Apple's ban of Fortnite. So Fortnite is back on iOS devices, folks. Sort of. And we have Microsoft to thank? More like blame? Damn, I literally just read off the teleprompter. I did not add that to the notes. I want that to be heard. Epic and Xbox have announced that Fortnite is now playable for free through Xbox Cloud's gaming. This means new Fortnite can again be played in iOS devices like iPhones and iPads, despite being removed from the Apple App Store during the legal battle between Epic and Apple. Tim Sweeney says, quote, monumental news, everyone. Fortnite is now available to play for free, streaming to web browsers on iPhone and iPad and Android via Xbox Cloud. No subscription required, no 30% Apple tax. And of course, if you guys remember, the 30% tax was one of the primary objections to Apple's control over iOS software distribution that led to Epic openly suing them. Thoughts? Fortnite's back on iOS.
I'm very disappointed that this is happening.
Why? It's a good thing for people, and it's a good way to say fuck you, Apple, and I hate Apple. So I also don't really like Tim Sweeney. I'll never forget that he compared it to a civil rights movement, which was abysmal. But
that's ridiculous.
That was ridiculous. But
yeah.
But also, bad for saying that because you're an idiot and read the room, dude. Second of all, good. Not for those statements, but good for this lawsuit because of everything that's come out because of it. And Apple sucks, and they use slave labor. So
didn't he use that statement during a time of civil unrest in America as well?
Yeah, think literally June 2020.
Police officers are literally killing African Americans in the street, and he's like, "This is the civil rights movement right here in court." Apple and who was it? Epic and Apple.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, he was like, it's Tim Sweeney time, and no one else said that. It's just him. Time for me to shine. And say the dumbest shit of the day on the internet.
Yeah. So anyway, thoughts on that, gents?
I think it's bad, but good, but bad, but good, but bad.
Yeah, I guess principally it's good, but to serve my end goals of Fortnite, not being around, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's my take too.
Fortnite is still huge though. A lot of people play Fortnite. And I know we don't like Fortnite. But it's big. And yeah. This is big.
I agree. Are you laughing?
Josh is he's feeling guilty that he sometimes plays Fortnite.
I have not played Fortnite in years.
He goes offline. Yeah, he goes offline on PlayStation. plays
Dude,
it.
you can look at my
Actually,
profile is public.
No, actually, you play it on iOS, dude. That's why you're so
gonna say,
hyped.
I don't have an iPhone.
You have an old iPhone 7.
I don't have an iPhone.
Yes, Fortnite.
You play it on an iPad, dude.
I do
play it on Nintendo Switch.
I do have an old iPhone 6S Plus or whatever it is. The huge bending phone. You know, the one before the actual bending phones.
And I'm like Beckham.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, or can we move on to my topic right now that I'm interested?
I know this one you're really interested in, so go ahead.
Yeah, so this is slick, and I don't know if you guys know anything about this, but I'm telling you right now, I watched the whole thing, and this is fucking slick. So, let's get into it. A school choir has created a Bioshock musical, and it's fucking slick. All right? And it slaps. Wow. Okay. So a high school has put together an interpretation of the story of Rapture as a fully fledged musical performance. So this was originally spotted by Eurogamer, and they said that California's John Burroughs High School Powerhouse Choir won some sort of choir competition back in March with a Bioshock inspired musical performance. So the show the students put on didn't follow the events of the game, but instead told the story of Rapture, including the appearances of Andrew Ryan, Bridget Tenenbaum, and Sander Cohen, kind of like a prequel to Bioshock, including hints on why they now live in Rapture, Andrew Ryan's backstory, and even the creation of splicers, I believe they're called. Correct? Is that what they're called, Brett? Do you remember?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Splicers. So as the performance progresses...
What, did you write the story yourself? You don't even know what they're called?
I did write some of this.
Did
myself.
you really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So as I watched the whole thing. It's like 22 minutes. It's playing right now for everybody. As the performance progresses, basically you kind of slowly watch a foreshadowing, if you will, of the beginning of the end of Rapture's Elite, which, as we know, that's where Bioshock starts off. And it's told through one New Year's Eve celebration at the very inception of Rapture. So the music is pretty cool. It's almost done kind of like a jukebox style musical where they take, you know, hit songs and kind of adapt them to fit the narrative of the story. And the music featured in the performance includes renditions of songs like Proud Mary, which of course was famously sung by Tina Turner. Lyrics were adapted, of course, to seem appropriate for the underwater city. So, you know, Rolling on the River is a song that they do becomes Rolling Underwater. Rolling Underwater. And it's just really fucking slick. I'm gonna skip to the end here for those that are watching the video, and you'll see them all put on like the splicer helmets. Slicer helmets. At some point, it happens somewhere like
helmets?
right there, or the like the bunny stuff with Andrew Ryan
Masks.
in the masks with Andrew Ryan in the middle. It's really fucking slick. It takes songs, it adapts them really well. It does like a whole foreshadowing of events of what happens in Bioshock, and the dancing is fucking awesome. So I will update the description with a link to the video if anybody wants to watch it. You can also just go to YouTube and type in JBHS VMA, and I think you'll find it. It's cool. It's really cool.
I've been telling you for years that we should do something like this.
Yeah,
like take a popular game and turn it into a musical or something because I know you're so interested in shows and stuff like that and musicals.
Yeah,
so
I would love to. I mean, this reminded me. The first thing I thought of was, if you remember that one drama program that did Alien, a live stage production of Alien. This is a little bit different, but kind of in that same realm. And it's really creative. And I don't know. I wish more people did stuff like this. So.
Also really smart to just use songs that are already a thing and just, you know, change them up and change the lyrics to make it more appropriate to the theme.
Yeah.
So you don't have to write and compose music as well. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Which they're not as popular anymore, probably because of licensing issues and stuff like that. But like jukebox musicals used to be like a huge thing. I don't know if you guys have heard of Moulin Rouge. That's a jukebox musical. I don't know if you've heard of Mamma Mia. That's a jukebox musical for ABBA.
I don't know if you guys have heard it. It's called The Bible.
I'm just saying. I don't know. But those are, you know, things where sometimes, you know, it's a singularly focused band and they adapt things. Sometimes it's a bunch. Hadestown, of course, is a famous musical now that was adapted from a concept album. So if there's a will, there's a way. And the fact that they took these songs and molded it around a video game like it, but did their own thing too, like a prequel to it, is awesome. So
I just heard this musical the other day. It was pretty good. It was called Phantom of the Opera. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that one. I know it's kind of underground, but that's a good one too.
Oh, really? I have to check it out.
yeah, Yuki is pretty freaking awesome. And you know who is not pretty freaking awesome? Brett. And watch out, Halo the musical. Yo, what about a musical about how bad 343 is?
I'm Bonnie Ross, and I'm really bad. I'm really bad. I'm really bad. And then the music is just, I am Bonnie Ross. I'm really bad.
I make a halo.
Alright.
That's awesome, dude.
If you guys could pick a video game to make a musical, what would you pick? Sorry, I kind of sprung this on you. I can answer first. I kind of thought about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I already have an answer, but yeah, go ahead.
I was thinking like I feel like a super giant game like Bastion or Transistor for like obviously condensed because you can't do like the gameplay, right? But I don't know, like especially Bastion with like the narrator, I could just see that being like at a high level, translate somewhat.
I like
to,
that.
Yeah. I think
to
that fits
stage.
really well.
I like that shit. Even what's it called? The same studio, their newest game, Hades,
Yeah.
with all the Greek mythology.
All those characters, yeah.
I mean, I didn't play Hades or Pyre. I only played
Yeah, I didn't play
Transistor and
Pyre.
Bastion, but like they have some like drama heft to them, you know, with the sword.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, that'd be like hard to do, like because you want a person ideally doing that, I guess. But so maybe Bastion would be better too. But
Transistor, do an opera, dude. That'd be kind of cool because it has that avant-garde art style. It'd be kinda cool to see an opera.
Yuki says Fortnite. That would be very popular. I'm sure would do very well. And then God of War. Yeah.
God of War would be dope. I don't know about a musical, maybe.
Fortnite, all the songs would just be children screaming. Children screaming too.
I think
read the musical.
If I did one, it would be like Rocket League, the musical. And all the songs are just nice shot. Wow. Sorry.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, that's it. That's what I would do. Rocket League, the musical.
So I've brought my idea up to Brett before. It's not a musical per se, but a ballet of, I mean, either Dark Souls or a From game, right? Where it's done in movements, if you will, with a singular character, and each dance gets progressively more difficult and challenging as you progress through the bosses of the game, and that's it. It's just a ballet to slick Souls music, and you have multiple dancers on stage, or you get cool with like puppets and projections and shit like that.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, that would be fucking rad. I would
even
pay to see that.
Even shadow puppets, like put a big sheet down and have the boss be just like someone's hands or something.
Yeah.
Like you change up the bosses and stuff.
Yeah, because you would have to you could play with scale if you would with certain things like that. So yeah, like imagine having a huge projection of like a dragon as somebody does a ballet to it, you know?
Yeah.
You could even get cheeky with it, right? And do like co-op and stuff like that. So you bring multiple dancers in.
Ornstein and Smo.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 1.
Ornstein and Smo.
Isn't the first boss in Souls 1, can't you like get him to fall down through the floor? Isn't that is that Dark Souls 1?
I think that's you fall down into the pit. You're the Asylum Demon.
Yeah, that's the Asylum Demon.
I was gonna joke like you just put a trap. The first dance is like 20 seconds.
Just like
you jump down, he falls, and then it's over.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could do a direct adaptation with that. Just add somebody, get him on a string, flying string, have him jump into the first boss.
You want my real answer though? I'll give you a real answer.
Yeah,
you're not gonna like it. I would do Shadows of the Damned, which is my favorite game. I
like
the
it.
game
rock
is
opera?
so.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Just like
rock metal opera,
dude. It is literally like what's it called? The one that I like a lot, Repo.
Yes,
where it's like super cheesy, but it's slick.
And the game is so inspired by like Evil Dead. I would also make the show like Evil Dead, where like the musical, and have like the crowd where they get blood splattered on them and shit. You could do a whole bunch of shit like that. It's a love story. It's an action story. I know not a lot of people have played it, but I think that it would be pretty sweet.
Yeah. Yuki says Final Fantasy 12. Final Fantasy 15. There's some slick fights in that too.
Oh, dude, Final Fantasy 15. I would cry.
Honestly, any Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And 7. Not a musical. Just have the orchestra.
Yeah.
The pit orchestra just play the songs. That'd be good enough.
We should do Final Fantasy VII Part 1 and just never do Part 2, just like the game.
Part 1. All right, come back in 3 years, guys. See the musical for Part 2.
Haha. All right.
That's a good topic. That was a good discussion. I like that.
Yes.
I still think Rocket League the musical would be the best option.
No. All right, last main kind of topic, and then we have Inde Intel, and then we're going to get out of here.
Summer Games Fest showcase coming on June 9th, and it will be shown in U.S. IMAX theaters. This is coming from IGN. Summer Games Fest showcase will be shown at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and 7 p.m. UK. The show will be a live cross-industry showcase featuring game reveals, and once again, tying in a separate Day of the Devs indie game showcase. This is obviously Jeff Keighley's thing. It's like E3. There is no E3 this year, so this is the best thing we're going to get.
We going to see it in IMAX?
I would say no, because then we can't react to it. Well, I guess we could react to it. That'd be awkward.
Is A-List cover it?
I would assume it's considered a special event.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't.
Yeah.
Therefore, I will not see it.
I don't know. I mean, we're pretty down on the Game Awards after last year. So
yeah, Game Awards are canceled. The advertisement awards are canceled.
Yeah. Hopefully
with some video games on the side.
I have to keep the lights on and also make sure I'm lining the pockets of Activision is canceled.
The Schick Hydrobot Awards.
Honestly, I would rather go back to the cringe than the incessant advertisements.
I'd rather Jesse Wellens on stage for an hour and a half.
It's funny because Jesse Wellens is at the end of the intro that I made. That didn't work.
Jesse Wellens.
Yeah, the early 2010s cringe from E3 is unrivaled.
Especially Ubisoft.
It's the coffee guy. But the Konami 2010 is probably the best showcase ever.
I miss E3, dude.
Yeah, I do too.
Can't have anything nice anymore.
All right, well, let's move on to our final topic of the day. We're going to do Inde Intel, which is a segment where we take a game, an indie game that isn't that big, and we give it some love so that it can get sucked off and get funded and whatnot. This game, unfortunately, does not need our help. They have raised over 900% of their funding goal. And the game has over 1 million views on itch.io and is currently one of the highest rated roguelikes on the entire site. So we're going to talk about Backpack Hero. I actually played this. Steven played it a little bit before the show. Josh, you have not played it at all.
Correct.
I recommend you play it after the show.
Maybe.
So Backpack Hero is the inventory management roguelike. Collect rare items, organize your bag, and vanquish your foes. The story is that the world of Ordaria has been cast into chaos. As the Backpack Hero, it is up to you to discover the ancient treasures to bring order back to the world.
Ordaria.
So the cool thing about it is it's all about, my dog's barking, it's all about inventory management. The placement of your items determines their effect. A carefully organized backpack creates a stronger character. So how this works is, you're traversing through a dungeon, basically. You will level up once you kill a certain amount of enemies, and you'll get more slots in your inventory. And you have to organize, kind of like Resident Evil 4, Josh. You have to
organize. You know how I like to organize my inventory now. I
know, but in this game, it matters how you organize it, because if there's items adjacent to each other, they can buff each other and stuff like that. So like I said, every time you level up, you expand your backpack in unique shapes. You get to choose how you want to shape it. More backpack space means you can carry more items and organize items in even more interesting ways. There's more to Backpack Hero than just organizing your backpack. You explore ancient dungeons, caves, swamps, and more. And they say, don't get lost. And when you aren't putting your life in danger, you will use the resources you have gathered to upgrade your town. By organizing the perfect town, you will restore the world of Ordaria and rescue the animals who live there. Your progress in the overworld unlocks new content, but it won't give you unfair advantages on a trip into the dungeons. This is a roguelike, so every time you die, you start over with nothing in your backpack. Thoughts?
Well, let's hear from Steven since he played it.
I did my research. I played it for about 5 minutes. When I played, I hit quit the game by accident, and this computer I'm running off of like a hamster wheel to power it, kind of was barely running it, but I killed an enemy, and yeah, like you said, I didn't play like really any of the Resident Evils, but I'm familiar with the equipment management system and how that works, and, like the shapes and everything. And it seems it's like a neat concept for sure. I don't know how many like games of that kind of rogue, like dungeon crawler roguelike style have that inventory system kind of matched in. And when you mentioned like the synergy based on like the placement is an interesting concept also. And you can make them weird shapes, because I beat an enemy and you have like 4 squares to choose from, and it has an outline of like it's like 3 on either side. So there were 12 because it was like a square that you basically were surrounding your current inventory with.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the cool thing is the demo is playable on itch.io in your browser. So the game's going to be on Switch, it's going to be on PC, but you can play the demo right now just by going to their itch.io page, which we're going to put in the description of our YouTube video. So go check that out if you have not yet.
Yeah, one more thing. I thought when you first said this, like this was about like over encumbrance and like trying to make that fun. And I was like, oh God, this is going to be freaking atrocious. But the sequel should definitely be about over encumbrance. Someone should make a game of how fun that is. Unless that's like, is that Death Stranding?
Maybe. Yeah, that might be Death Stranding. You might have just described Death Stranding.
My favorite mechanic, dude.
Yeah.
Fallout 3, dude.
I hate that mechanic in every game, but
yeah, it's bad.
It has to be a thing.
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't it, though?
No.
All right. Well, listen, we made it through the whole podcast without me having to take a fucking shit. So that's awesome.
That is awesome, dude.
Fucking awesome.
Proud of you.
That's awesome.
And I didn't lag out at all. There were a couple moments where it was choppy. I feel like in hindsight, like the lighting, because you guys have like fancy technology, but I'm just using a webcam, and like I feel like half the time I'm like, for some reason, it just gets dark, and then it gets lighter, and I'm not moving at all when it happens.
It's the shades, dude.
Yeah, the reflection from that.
It's literally doing it right now.
Yeah, I was thinking I could do like a Nathan Fielder joke. If you guys remember his stuff about off the reflection of stuff and the illicit content or explicit content, I guess that was in the reflection.
Yeah,
I'll let the folks at home look up Nathan Fielder on Instagram and
I was actually
for themselves. But
I was thinking about that actually as you were reading the notes. I was like, oh shit! I hope Josh didn't write anything abysmal in the notes like he usually does, because it's literally visible in your glasses.
Yeah, I didn't think
me.
Well, this one, it was me. I'll be honest.
I didn't alter a single word.
I'll be honest, it was me this time, but last time it was you, and every other time it's you.
The only innuendo I added was instead of Ozark, I put O'Shart because the ending was bad.
Yeah. Okay, let's not talk about this anymore. I have an idea for a new show. I haven't talked about this with Josh at all. How do you feel about doing another podcast, but we call it Hapticast Unscripted, and we don't do any of what we just did, and we just talk and don't have anything written. We just go into it.
Just riff,
yeah. But we could talk about the same shit. I just don't want notes and reading articles. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Different from this. This stays, and then we do unscripted.
This stays?
Mm-hmm. I don't know how if we would do every other as an unscripted, or like if we, do a Patreon, like those Say Before Quitting guys. They have a Patreon, and
it sounds like a lot of work, yeah.
I know. How do they do that? I don't even understand.
Sounds like a lot of work, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it'd be cool to do that.
I mean, yeah, the thing is, or
we could just do another podcast, completely different.
I'd also like
us.
I'd also like to not talk about video games for some.
Yeah, I thought about that too. I want to do a wrestling podcast. I'll have Christian on there.
Yeah, I'll come on there. I'll just give you my gut reactions to everything.
That's a good idea.
I'm like the person that doesn't know anything, and I'm just looking at it like, that's awesome, dude.
We'll just be like, yo, Tony Khan booked a match where Jungle Boy fought Luchasaurus and shit on his face, and you'll just be like, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, when is the list of Jericho coming back, yo? just very specific references to some wrestling stuff that I've actually seen.
Yeah, like WWE shit from 2016.
Yeah. Be like, yeah, when is Sasha Banks going to come out and fight Cody Rhodes, yo? Be like, yeah, they're not even on AEW at all, yo. I'd be like, what happened, yo?
I think that'd be awesome. Fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude.
Dude, I just shit myself.
Are you bringing that up now because you want Steven to come on this, or are you just bringing it up in general?
That's my ass.
In general.
Well, obviously I want Steven on more. This isn't him returning for good. This is just a one-off.
Right.
I would like Steven on more, but I'm just also saying that I would like to do additional content, podcasts. Maybe we could do an audio-only, unscripted podcast.
I'm good with that.
Josh and I could talk about the Phillies.
You don't know how bad I want to do a sports podcast just talking about the Phillies. But the thing is, I would like to do it where nobody knows that it's me, because I'm going to say some things that would absolutely be a problem.
I have a title for it. You want to hear the title, a working title?
Yeah.
Hear it.
My life is miserable. Or there's a meme of this is worse than, because someone said about some sports injury, this is worse than 9/11. But we just say this is worse than, and we'll just insert it.
I saw a meme today about the Phillies, and it was really good, and it would also be a good name for, let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, the uncle one?
Oh, no, but that would also be a good one. Where is it, dude? Oh, you know what? I sent it in Snapchat to Brett and Christian, both of which had no idea what it is. Oh, do you want to find hell with me?
I like that.
Good.
Yeah, the Phillies podcast. So, yeah,
Like
I would almost rather, I'd want it to be like live reactions too, like live streaming the game with no audio, and we're just,
no audio.
Well, we can't legally transmit the audio of a baseball game.
Oh, I thought you meant no audio for you as well.
No. And then we would also hear then you'd hear the announcers of the game.
You would literally just be like,
I was gonna say
Morse coded.
It might be good advice to not have the audio.
Yeah.
I mean, because we wouldn't want to hear the announcers. You know what I mean? We would want to be the announcers.
Yeah.
Or we could just do live reactions post game.
Like one of us could be T-Mac, the other could be John Kruk. We're getting so into the Phillies. If no one knows it that's watching, I
don't even know.
Like, you can wear like the hot dog hat
and
just shove food in your mouth.
Exactly.
That
constantly eating. 1 second they're the best team in the world. Dude, the next second I hate them.
Oh my god! If we order like everything from Curly's, one of everything off the menu, and then we kill ourselves that night by just ingesting 500,000 calories worth of grease and meat.
I love the sound of that, dude.
We don't know what the hell's going on.
That's all right.
In unrelated news, you now have less than 571 subscribers after hearing that statement. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
Anyway.
Steven, it was fantastic having you on, and I would love for you to come on again as a guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
anytime
was a lot
you
of
want.
fun. If some big megaton news happens, and I'm like, I want to talk about this with the fellas, then I'll definitely reach out. For sure.
You're always welcome here.
That's right.
I'm happy that I have. I don't know, what am I supposed to say? I feel like it's like an Oscar acceptance speech.
Yeah. All right,
Well,
wrap it up. They're playing your music.
We're playing the music. What music are we playing?
Well, we are playing music, but I'm saying they're playing.
All right. Well,
Let's do an
thank
award
you.
show, and that's the playoff music.
Yeah, when you're on stage too long, that plays.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
that's awesome, dude.
Unless you're Sean. Sean Kimball, this plays. All right.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you, everybody, for watching.
thank you for watching Hapticast episode number 69. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share with your friends. Thank you for Steven for coming back on. I mean, Steven, do you want to plug anything or no? You good?
I have no.
His ass.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well.
Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to Haptic Intel. Did you do it? Subscribe right now.